Hi everybody, my name is Sarah and I'm from Pennsylvania. I looked up the informed consent forms for PA and the ACA informed consent. The informed consent in Pennsylvania, the code says that you have to inform of services provided, risks and limitations, reasonable alternatives. The ACA also says that these services have to be explained explicitly, the purposes, techniques and goals, procedures, limitations, risks and benefits, qualifications, and the credentials listed, and relevant experience. PA also expects these things. They also talk about relevant costs, billing, overdue collection policy, potential effects on the relationship, and the ACA also talks about continuing services, fees, billing arrangements, and non-payment fees. For PA code, clients have the right to withdraw consent or right to refuse. The time frame must be covered by consent, and the ACA has also that you have the right to refuse any services or changes, and that you must be notified of a consequence of refusal of therapy. The PA code also states that any other info the licensee reasonably expects might affect the client's decision. They both talk about the right to confidentiality, having steps to ensure client comprehension, and using clear language, even in instances where they can't read or need help interpreting, including minors or where power of attorney might be needed. PA has to notify clients of a reasonable, foreseeable risk and limitations for electronic care. I didn't really see anything about electronic care on the ACA page when I was looking. Maybe I missed it. And then both talked about mandated clients being with the court, and the required limitations to confidentiality, the nature of the counseling, and the client's rights when it comes to a mandated counseling session. I reviewed a company called A Better Life Therapy, LLC in Philadelphia, and looking at the informed consent page, it does have what is expected of PA code and some of the ACA code. The consent has what they are trained to work on, specifically working on the goals and with the client together, changing goals, what the counseling entails, and approaches that might be taken. It also has a section on benefits and risks involved, and it talks about outside consultation. It has a section on fees, a cancellation policy, contact numbers, and talks about legal proceedings and costs and fees for persons that are subpoenaed for the mandated court trials. This particular counseling center added in an emergency portion and explained the limitations and the availability of a counselor after hours, and going to 911 if they need help. They also talked about the termination of a client and making any and all plans to provide them with referrals. And then it has a place at the bottom for a minor to sign, but it doesn't talk about the minor's rights and specifics and how they handle that certain consent. It also doesn't include anything about electronic services or client comprehension, but it does mention confidentiality, and this informed consent, I guess, just seemed a little broad, and it seemed like most of the bases were covered, but I guess my question would be that I guess I would like to know more about a minor and what is involved with that, and what the informed consent procedure is for them and their rights, and what can be said to a parent and what cannot be said to a parent, just their rights in that whole process.